my name is Chachy and I'm a flamenco dancer. I was born in Venezuela and I moved to Australia because of the political situation, basically. So I decided to move 10 years ago now, and I've been here for 10 years. I started dancing at 7 years old, and my first training was contemporary dance. I had to go through ballet training as well, because it's the foundation for the contemporary. Then a little bit later I jumped into Latin American folklore and a little bit of flamenco at that time, but not fully committed to it. One day I just went to a flamenco class because a friend of mine was studying with me at home, and she was like, oh, please come with me, and while I take this class, just wait for me for 1 hour. And I sat there and I fell in love, and that's how I started flamenco. And yeah, after that, like a week after, I was just taking classes and all over crazy about flamenco. My own studio was a consequence of where my career was at the time I moved here. Starting here in Sydney, because I spent a good number of years training back in Venezuela, training with companies, which is a complete different work to being a soloist. And by the time I moved here, it made like natural sense to evolve my own school and then just spread, probably just reaching other people to pass the knowledge I've been gathering. And even when I'm still in the process of building myself, because it could take you your whole life to build an artist, it's beautiful to see that there are other people getting inspired by you. I've been involved lately in a couple of productions in this year. I was involved in a show called Evocación that was produced by a friend of mine, Sol Velez, and I had the pleasure to choreograph and dance in that one. We presented that at the beginning of the year in the French Festival in Adelaide, and we won as a best dance show of the whole French Festival. Then we took that one to Darwin and finally here in Sydney in September, beginning of September. So that was a great experience that I've been chewing for a while. Well, I have a couple of goals for the studio and myself. One of the things related with the studio will be my aim for people to get to know more this art form. Obviously, we are in a Anglo context, and this is not as common as a reference, as a cultural reference. So flamenco is quite hidden in this culture, which is fair enough. Like it's not part directly from the culture, but I think if we get more exposure, we will get more people loving this. At the end of the day, it's just a beautiful art form. And I'm crazy about spreading the word about it and more people getting involved. I think we need more art in general, and this is a beautiful way of getting in contact with that. At the moment right now, developing my own company, my own dance company. For the first time, I'm stepping forward and taking that chapter on, and I'm training people who is actually hoping to get into a professional level. So my aim is to produce more shows, theater shows, developing shows and productions that involve all the kind of art that is not only dancing, but poetry, literature in general, and visual arts. So I just want to open a little bit the scope for myself as well as a creator, and just exploring other avenues to express.